Hey, in this video, we're going to talk about how to stop limiting God from doing what he wants to do and can do in and through your life. Let's dive in. Hey, this is Kevin Bjorklund, and welcome to Mindset Mastery, Life on Purpose, the creative life. Whatever we are talking about, it's always going to be about living life on purpose, mastering your mindset, and then going after something bigger than what you feel like you might be able to do in the present moment. And so today we're talking about how to stop limiting God from doing what he can and wants to do in and through our life. And so, I want to say something to you, and this may catch you off guard, but I'm saying it also to myself, that God is not limiting you. You are not limited. The only thing that's happening here is that we limit God based on what we think and how we think. There's this quote, and I want to share it with you, and I want you to think about your life as I read it. Miles Monroe, an amazing author, an amazing preacher, he said that the wealthiest place in the world is not the gold mines of South Africa or the oil fields of Iraq or Iran. They're not the diamond mines of South Africa or the banks of the world. The wealthiest place on the planet is just down the road. It is the cemetery. There lie buried companies that were never started, inventions that were never made, best-selling books that were never written, and masterpieces that were never painted. In the cemetery is buried the greatest treasure of untapped potential. We hear it all the time that people's number one regrets when they get to the end of their life is not taking more risks. And it's this reality that the only way to truly live a life of purpose and a life of maximum potential is taking risks, to embracing fear, to going beyond what you think is currently possible. And I want to tell you a story, because this is why I became so passionate about this. Is in order to live life on purpose, we have to have two things. One, we have to have clarity. We have to know ourselves. There's all these teachers, and it'll all come back to this understanding who we are, understanding why we exist, the understanding and knowing ourselves, getting clarity on who we are, who God made us to be. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is confidence. And confidence not only in ourselves, but also confidence that God made a system that when we operate in the system, it is guaranteed that we succeed. And this is where so many cliche statements come from. Cliche statements that we no longer even acknowledge. Like, what would you do if you knew that you could not fail? Well, the reason that question was ever asked was because there is a system that God developed that would guarantee success and prevent failure. I know that sounds hard to believe, but I'm telling you that system exists, and it's in the system, in the way that we think. The word says that the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But I have come, he's talking about Jesus, come to give you life and life in abundance. Isn't it interesting that the only place that the devil can attack you is in your mind? And in the minds of mankind. And so where does all evil, all wickedness, all death, all destruction, where does it come from? It comes from wrong thinking. It comes from thinking in the wrong way. And so there's this system that God created that when we operate in it, it guarantees our success. And so the number one thing that the devil wants to do to destroy your potential, your purpose, is to getting you to think less of yourself, to getting you to think less of what you can do. And the way that he does this is he gets you to live according to your senses. He gets you to see the world around you as if that is reality. So I want you to ask yourself a question right now. What if I'm wrong? I want you to just ask this question. What if I'm wrong? what if I'm wrong about what I'm capable of? What if I'm wrong about who I am? What if I'm wrong about the things I think about myself? That question can set you free. Because what it's going to do is it's going to open you up to thinking. It's going to open you up to a process of evaluating, why do I believe what I believe? Because the bottom line is most people are living limited. Most people are going through life just to survive, and that is not the way that God designed life. God did not design life for you to just survive, for you to just get by, for you to just endure throughout your life. That is not the way he designed life. And he proved that by sending Jesus, and Jesus saying, I've come that you may have life and life in abundance. That abundant life is in every area of your life, your health, your relationships, your finances, all of it. And so wherever there's limitations in your life, it all stems back to limitations in your mind. And so when looking at your life and saying, okay, what do I believe to be true about myself? What do I believe to be true about God? What do I believe to be true? Because behind every limited result in your life is a limited thought or belief that you have adopted. And that is the way that the devil traps you. And so the way that we can stop limiting God from doing what he wants to do in and through our life is to change our thinking, to change what we think. This is the system of thought that God empowered us with, is this ability to think. And the way that we are supposed to think is with the 6 mental muscles that God gave us. Okay, there's probably more, but these are so important, and I'm going to touch on 1 or 2 of them. And these are the imagination, your intuition, perception, memory, reason, and will. Your reasoning right now is your justification for every result that you're currently getting in life. What you do every day, why you do it every day, how you do it every day, what you wear, how you wear it, what you think, how you think. All of that is your reasoning factor. The other factor or faculty is our imagination, our ability to see what our eyes don't see. There is this invisible world. And Jesus said this, he said that whatsoever things you ask for when you pray, believing that you've received them, that's when you'll have them. He's talking about the imagination. He's saying whatsoever things you ask for when you pray, that's this invisible picture. You're asking for something that doesn't exist currently in reality. And the reason that most people don't see the prayers come to pass in their life is because they never actually see themselves living out life. They don't have an imagination. All they can see is what currently is. And so even when they pray, they're not praying with a picture of what they desire themselves to be living. They pray with a picture of themselves the way that they are, and they're asking God to change something that he's given them the ability to change. And so what I want to tell you today is you are capable of so much more. And the way that you want to start is you want to start asking yourself, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about myself? What if I'm so much greater, so much more powerful? What if I'm so much more able than I've ever imagined myself to be? What if the desires in my heart are not wrong? What if instead of trying to fight the reason why you want something, you just allow yourself to see yourself in a way that you've never seen yourself with your eyes or with your senses, but you see yourself with this imagination? What do you desire? What do you want? You can have it if you stop limiting God from doing what he wants to do in and through your life. And so the way that I challenge people to do this is by setting a goal that is so much bigger than what you think you could do or what you know that you can do. It's setting a goal that goes beyond what your senses could see and seeing only with your imagination. But the only way that you can do that is to shut down the thinking that is controlled by your senses. And so the way that we do this is you just ask yourself, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about me? What if the fears that I have aren't real? What if I could push past the fears that I have? What if I could push past the fears that have crippled me from taking action? What if I don't want to be the person who lives all this life just trying to survive, and then I get to the end of my life and I have regret after regret after regret because I never faced fear. I never embraced the possibility. I just lived within the conditions of my own thinking. What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about all of this? What if I'm capable of so much more? That's where I want this video to take you. I want to take you to that place of asking yourself, where am I limiting God? If your finances are tight, you're limiting God in your finances. If your relationships are sour, you're limiting God in your relationships. If your health is poor, you're limiting God in your health. He has a process and a way for you to live life abundantly, but it requires you to use your imagination and to allow your imagination, the eyes of your spirit, to be more powerful than the eyes of your flesh, the things that you can see or the things that you can hear, the things that you can touch. There has to be a breakdown from the material world, and you have to start living by the Spirit. That's what this is all about. Our mindset controls the life that we live. And so we have to recondition our mind to a new picture, and that's what the imagination is for. But you start with this reasoning and asking yourself the right questions. Stop trying to validate what you believe. Stop trying to ensure that you're right. What if you're wrong about you? What if you're wrong about your potential? What if you're wrong about your gifts and your talents? What if you're wrong about it? What if? I guarantee you are. I promise you are, and that's a good thing. You're so much more capable of doing and being something magnificent, so much more. And this has nothing to do with your individual value. This has nothing to do with putting your value on what you do, putting your value on what you accomplish. It's actually the opposite of this. It's recognizing how valuable you are, how special you are, how intimately God loves you and why he made you unique. And then from that place, living life free, living life on purpose. When we validate our significance by what we do and what we accomplish, we're already living a limited life. The limitless life comes from recognizing how valuable we are because of who God made us to be and our uniqueness. And from that place, you can live a life free from fear and live a life of love. And that's from what you do with your life then is not from a place of fear and intimidation, but it's a place of love and generosity and giving. And the Bible even says that God gives seed to the sower. So there's a gift that he's given you. There's a talent he's given you. And when you sow that through action, that is when more and more comes to you and more flows through you. And that's living a limitless life. But it's when fear can cripple your actions. See, that's the problem and there's so much in this video, but that's the problem with what education has taught us. We've been deceived that we've been deceived that what we know is going to be responsible for what we get. And that's wrong. What we do is responsible for what we get. So you may be amazingly smart. You may have got the best GPA, the best grades, all that stuff, and yet you're living limited in life because you're not rewarded for what you know. You're rewarded for what you do. So pouring more and more knowledge into your mind, it's not going to produce the life that you want. unless you do something with that knowledge. And fear is going to cripple you from acting. Fear is going to cripple you from doing. And so it requires this ability to think more clearly. And so the question that I would have you ask in order for you to stop limiting God is, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong about the ideas that I have about myself? That's the best way to start. And then you start thinking, what do I want? What do I want to accomplish with my life? Maybe you're a singer. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. How great and how big do you want to be? Not in terms of what you get, but in terms of what you give and what you contribute. Think of all the people that should be hearing your voice or seeing your art or experiencing the value that you provide through business. Use your imagination. The world needs what you have. And so if the limits that you're placing on yourself aren't true, then I've got good news for you. The sky's the limit. We can go back to all the cliche statements. What if you really could accomplish something magnificent with your life? Well, I'm telling you, you can. And you should. Because that is the way that God designed you. He didn't design you with limits. He didn't design you with limitations. There is no limit to what you can do if you use your mind correctly, if you use your imagination correctly, if you stop living by sight, if you stop living by, determining that this is the way that life is because this is what I can see, this is what I can experience, and living by faith. I'm telling you, there's so much more, but it starts with these two faculties of the mind. Reason first, so thinking, what if I'm wrong about what I believe? What if the limitations that I have in my bank account and my health and my relationships, what if it's all a product of my thinking and my thinking is wrong? And then second, what do I want it to be? And then take your imagination and create a picture of yourself living life as you would desire it to be. And I'm telling you that from that place, you're going to start to recognize the gifts that God has given you. And when you can push past fear and start acting with those gifts and using those gifts to contribute to the world, you are going to live a limitless, fruitful, fulfilling life. That's living life on purpose. All right? So this is all about living life on purpose. And when you live every day on purpose, you will get to the end of your life and have zero regrets. That's a promise. So if you need to live life on purpose like never before, I want you to make a comment below. I want you to email me. I want you to go to mindsetmastery.life. I want you to get a hold of me so that you can truly start living life on purpose. One of the best things you can do in relation to your goal and the thing that you desire in creating that image for yourself is download the Goal Card app. I created the Goal Card app for you to help you create that picture, help you to use your imagination and then visualize and just immerse your mind in this picture that you create. So go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, get the Goal Card app, and get started today living a life on purpose. This is Kevin Bjorklund, and I am so thankful that you watched this video. Be looking, subscribe so that you can get more videos. I'm going to be posting so much more, and I just appreciate you being on the journey with me, because whether you have recognized it or not, this is my way of contributing. And this is me pushing past the fear. And so as I go forward and move in this and do this and take action, I want you to follow along, and I want you to do it with your life. And I want you to take action on your dreams because you have something great on the inside of you that people need. All right? Go out today and live life on purpose.